But okay, diam sulang musubeseng koram le kamang la reporter yid na hindi ako muna sa close to trail lang abay germanger mang chief of staff hindi ka bay kora go through the emo moderator yid da mura germanger ada
Mada mutil malungil tutaw e podomo ora germanger tomo ulil arbek latal ako rangar niya karira ulgrila sira game great and dilok kasi gisay pa question ako ma press conference mukuk tomo ora bitang ang balo mo ula ulgrila dolal there's imol geral momreg yakuk to poranex.
Onevelas. Tutaw President, welcome back. It's timo kutel kari kak mo gertal sel obvious question na ki namu iba patokal kura international media kal ambassador Amerika lulbangem el vibe net turn out mo headline nami sa news ra huriping ma mainland China ma Taiwan ma Australia. It's been written was in ka tais kang Amerika sorry at mila Taiwan since 1979, so it's the first tilal years. Ngara significant seringi kamne invite teringi ngartial delegation nerbelaw ya ongerul critical de follow up ringia radra blue akura dio geringi mak askel waseng nga kura ha threats el lapos mal uveng kura ha issues el bol race el since ngul bengkela delegation mang palpal pusra belal mura limelight tra tial power struggle raigal major belura belul adak tial Indo-Pacific region sulang.
so koram lo tiyun mo taklil wase wala wase gida mle invite ambassador lo bangya dal mo lang parte tialungil dal wul rigid partly tial lo ulen sia dal opener a travel bubble sel el nges ma partnership lo mangila blue ram rigel blue Taiwan gida makal opener tial travel bubble. I think that was the mal meso dal otil mora blue lab. Of course, kita am dengi lo sea blue ram rigel dia kalau recognize mainland saya do dangali. I mean, dia kalau recognize Taiwan as a nation. Moral close significance ri kita am dengi lo sea sumudol trullet sila betul media yang ngungil giret. Al positive mal negative more media is good. Amle mokter gida I make sure ada mamnlia travel babo le mamnlia abela gumral wasi kadamle accomplish sel goal. En sel risk el merbela gumda sendikal change. Gida no matter what gida selil amrigel ya blue amrigel adulto iringil mengar gid. Serata kung akampak tegit already kita bilang merigen dia kan move and I think what's important by te ledalo tin morablo ladalo ase by pom mesa Taiwan ase bol part legal international organizations electrica toka il shera mugela blula baby mlamo time el by do ciclo ase boni abudo so kita gumral wase kita degal soadal ngari ang idil enemy gid soadal selira backlat and I think what's important degal gire lang idil bluk puida se kadegal emel se lilengay no kita friend to all enemy to none di tira uk chusel kasi barang dir gid di kita degal kasi barang udah tir kita wase bom bodo kagul le bodo kainga seu edo omer grabud sea agumra lo hacen mokte gargid mong oy ak mudaya serada hablo el mosuebo garandir di bay gumra lo seguida bay se del milisi rabud ma security tial kita ngaral sel blu kita llegar el blu dilu el telala radra el kier belau kudul tuy ramrigen that's gire dro tiro ase gadul tuiri tiret makalom trilo uri rabek time. And I think selom role da otise. Sulang.
Kurang balungi lagi kalai sebelah beskido tial triper kalmura blura Taiwan. Isera uero moral mura blura Taiwan kamlesena Executive Order 445. Se create a cell national security coordinating official di mo directly ngara yung ila officer ka. Se domesera se lighten 5 seguido executive order ng balgok mong lagi rogul tugura security, military exercise, missions, gel activities ngira al selvela. Ya usisil time ng balgok na singirel, luer albor nga igen girel nga sel diplomatic channel albol approvera. Agagid military activities, sing balgok na singgawa mo approve ay malubeng Ngau mo ulbira lularu era bul ngani agigidar pa selbela. Oh.
Di security coordinator amal ngaralel ngia rogul tuwa morngi ora ngira Ministry of State and make sure ka disseminate the information. Sulang.
Amri sinam amri gel mudube ndi tiagid mlongile. Ya kumrang lo aseng. Til aigid ngaulam das lo aseng adam rigel au dongurgid il mura Taiwan. Wa ambassador tin. Di la kau tel aisma. Aku meseng ngungil lul das. Ku spera amrigel ku mo yas tel dorur ngi mo kurgid e direk ngwa mana rula Taiwan mana madar gid. Tas mal mormula tokol ng seu mergid ko kan mo ais. El aku murat ora kuk merabluat. Ay kan merkol tal sande ak nama at least the true el at im lau de mal merawat mul gorgak el wasin dia mo mol goreng kal ad el wasi dia mo go mo liltra al ministers ya kotel ngilting el agi de bor bitar kau mo minister of justice mguk iuresa sen mondara senet la tuwa Iwat agi de ngaringia last week ngaringia adara seres Miguel mo masibra seres ratara mlo dia ka lu ra traktor sem ngarti agi del passer ngile mlo dia ka requisition mlo dia ka mru manda sen dia ka minister ngaringia mal tol teletar igel teletar aurora igal 5 ministry sila ka minister namos maring namo korak ngaria minister sila ka minister tel vikang monday ela aknor hospital eli no guru le tara adro hospital malariul at amal uror nga ke wase mal dito se maklo problem ng hospital hindi ka minister mga kolom das wase akmadengel wase kamna suda kal personally imlaw ay sringil wase example at temelatkel sila ka minister sa 2 years wani di kumda sa atletara lang al amal adal ura kalment tam lokoy adal bulan na umlokoy leng tikal minister sa uro mura regal uro regal minister na peklisils maglel lungil ko am das te dul suem lase lungil mo molut kertil sum buk sam change ma la ba bisala mai kan sabe kuk change di kumdas wing kumam laat imlangar tel government 1981 al May das asen gel to 12 mga ministers. Ak may kagid man skaw kam sodit.
A director needs to plan. Girel ngaria al sum ram lo deka alu em legiril mo setiamu enda atemela alu umam, so we need to plan ahead of time. So I'm sorry to hear lo say that happened, and I don't think ngal sa sela minister ulang mle happen. Le apiol bera gel request lagi del deka ministerial bera tableg 24 hours ak plasain. So that's not a ser activos e vice president ang artial take care mo. Ora amasarong ulgire lagi. And let's be clear. Trigal directora trigaya orur taurior rabek sils. Gida problem rigida amam lo albangan wasa minister agiran makarang marang gida omar la sembay gida empower our ath. Mr. Aklisi give the directors the responsibilities lo rula aurior. Trigal minister adi odrul. Di way nga odor aliw. Dir directora gida milisi irtir help irtir mo aurior. So, yes. Management style kakaroos. Sila ka minister health, sila ka minister education, agriculture, yeah, nga ka minister. So, hindi ka laka minister. Ala ka minister of justice, ak minister. So, ak minister, askara AG, mga rurter. That's how it works. So, yes, ak understand thersel on triar adrablu. Gida malmol, malawrol girela efficiency, effectiveness, orat parliamentary. Ngaria reorganization the rule. Gida we're actually going ministry by ministry, shifting people around. Sel the rule ay sometimes mbeot gida pangarti altretal ngaral sel. Sel the set up ay gida ministry man mo clear about takla roles ngaral sel. Then nakadunga adan mo. We have a planning team and say urerir. Nastata surveys and nastata aurora abtokal areas sa governmentary. Really the goal is how to improve efficiency ma customer service at sa governmentary. Because at the end of the day amok te kara igal aurora surur gida other blue belo. So aguni track kaloreng soon step by step. Okay. Hi.
Oy.
Questions yes or no? Is that yes? Okay. Coming will to Tao. Chief of Staff has sent the one question. Di kalagay kamal di makadep mang di write one after another. Kote sel question as a el albal morning itel travel bubble mar ada Taiwan ame kita mura tikal medical referral ama Taiwan. Di go require a 14-day quarantine at Taiwan. That's the first question. Yeah, second question regarding regal refunds mortal medical assistance sa WIOA. Just to clarify, national government mo refund their cell income taxes, social security mo refund their cell social security contribution. Following up on that, the social security contribution ng koral agirel benefit at tirgal up, it's their benefit. Talubang has to be returned. I mean, it's quite a question. So just those two for now. Quite a quick clarifications. And then I have one last one. I'm sorry, let me squeeze this in before you answer. Kumlasa na tiyal bilel mo la amender sel Telecom Act Travel Belaw. If I'm not mistaken, is el Telecom Act Travel Belaw lewal deregulate telecom industry. Ruli ay garogul create sel dulaseng universal service process el rogul telecom providers mo pay into it at same time in sabihin el malawdo da al sell through application and to expand the universal service. tial bees amendment morsella ang moral treat tirgal baby telecom providers mumudia kal pay into that universal service fund. That's just a question.
Yeah, so starter PNCC tial universal access. A PNCC provider persel RUS loan sa contribution ni digel baby ra kumbali need to pay into the fund. So giran malmon. Seldungura SS sama yel income tax. Income tax are clear. Minister giro tawo daw the giro ro isa blur amrigel within 30 days was ngara plan again and how we're going to pay it back. So most important and we need to take care sa gidel income tax side. WIA direkal momodor other SS because you're right. Tia benefit tertir. Help tertir retirement tertir di adam regula are clear as ngiri return now do there. So that probably needs to be negotiated and discussed. For example, they get the benefit of health insurance. So al sumo tamlara referale ul PMS ertir goram refundara bla lo speri. The things that we need to work out, but it's an ongoing discussion. Dito tangalia uksel ngara Ministry of Finance, we know that we need to pay it back. So quarantine at Taiwan, you are correct. So they were requiring 14 days selam to hospital and that's told. That has been dropped. And the ngari patient till the last triple mo. Basically, after 5 days. Ngari seldom mga saying restricted movement till 5 days. They following. Elia meeting gidra mangela ambassador Taiwan was at the tran mo remove say the restricted movement 5 days and more zero. We're trying all avenues. We need to develop the cloud maradi. So hopefully mlamula flight. Mutul moria cloud marargid and then I am ogin maral mol modia. Of course kadamlak murtir emlaw aisetir metamde sa COVID-free hindi di katsalong marang al malong maral sa COVID-free. I say and they have 22 million people and they're not vaccinated. So they're really afraid. So I can understand that. Ayal meeting rigid ng arse angel minister health tir amal kasi tial tawa na kadimo damer rogo ay kita alolo ko ministerial. Minister of Foreign Affairs amal blakarong ng sergit. In fact, sel tri program mo kausyo ngel mayor kausyo. Nge medical doctor. Seral ko termo crisis sa Taiwan ngya ulngara ara ngem le incident commander. Ngem le vice premier lang mayor kausyo. Nge miskita commitment kasi nga kana egor belal mal black more than 20 times. Gamal bakra everywhere belaw. Kotak inviting bela se ome kung ikan mo bak gabolo sa dagal type site nga bay number of to plak poring anyway hindi malulay sa kasi senda ikan local regulations sama ikan moru belaw and he will personally momodura minister health trial relax ikan local to. So in fact tiale di tener adras kogi ra Sunday 13 and move to 13 and Wednesday. Sedro asing gora blessing. Le outside ra Taiwan at tiada katsurin masam dirir. So ambassador Taiwan say we know the problem. Ayun ang madura Minister of Health. So hopefully a relaxation is coming soon and maybe sige mo beto kita travel mo Taiwan. Ay kita dorol giral mo. It takes some time. And that's why it was so important that we start. Because if we never start, hindi ka sebedel adjust and continue moving forward. So, we got something. We just keep on pushing and getting a little more and more. Say maybe, yeah.
Taiwan klol balum dakat sa expect ringin ko kwai gid limer area the process ra a bureaucracy but say gid the intent kung da say gid the intent ra babol gidel nga near reciprocity ra at tokol doru landing it takes time mang ta understand lo say gid ako tungura tokor omru sa kada we're well on our way na kuk goal lagi tara by summer kadam la reach segit. So hopefully sa direct kul mo sugi tara kuk requirements tirigit sel dabora Taiwan especially our smer mar our escorts sel blool mong face ay gigit kuk kakrosel situation mong. Like the president says, it's a work in progress and the ngidil vlado mo law diyor.
And just to give you some ideas, one of the things we discussed early, you lang require either PCR test or there's an antigen test to get on the plane. It'll require that. And there's one that in saying Abbott Labs that makes it, or Binax, but made by Abbott. Certified maybe this is another alternative. Passenger los reduce the cost. So that's we have to continue to be flexible and work with them. Just like us, the reason they're COVID-free and we're COVID-free is because we're COVID-free. Tom de mararat sel tura border mo. Sel gida other belal mol deka control border tamal mo bagik. So tigal dil tura lalo pridra bluma me. And we have to get them all both say because a lot of time we get that allow our soldier American may basically because need to quarantine martigada tawang mas ay kasi trigal wala ba I mean you have to understand yourself ediga stop mo la other American take the dollar tira last year in Maryland I think we've proven and marblado say a quarantine system works kadang PCR test kadang we've done all of these things so sige kadi build the trust yung ambassador tawang akmuna kasi Ibo kung kati ka ala baby ra adal mesois mak ya kau ko ra ala ra adal dirigal sois ra blumi mo kung tiram de emertir pam trust la system ra kung wasen di way kamiu di kami ul si sakar ka mam so you know let's have a little trust in each other so hopefully we break down those walls and that's really the goal so Sula
Bernadette.
Thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. President, when you returned from Taiwan, there's this controversy swirling around with your family members signing a franchise and any reaction to the people saying it should not have taken place during the bubble flight. And second question and last question. The government keeps talking about COVID safe. What is COVID safe? And people are also asking what happens when COVID comes in the country. What are the preparations? What are the protocols?
okay I'll let Kaf on lang okay I'll let Kafar talk about COVID safe but let me just address our issue, and I think you're talking about chat time. So just to clarify, and I think Island Times amal mle report a whole story mal plakatak. But a flight till Tilaw der Belao was a mix of people. Mlari a government delegation, mlari a other Morao Guru, the delegation will pay their own way to be in that bubble because there's either you're going to go in as a medical or medical part of the bubble. So there was 5 people, member of family, that went. Okay? They pay their ticket to Bela al Mora Taiwan. They pay their ticket to Taiwan al Merbelao. They pay their hotel at Tir. Now, some of them were invited let tiga government officials. So, al sumtang na Taiwan as already invited til moragal events at Tir. For example, Senator Whipps, Chairman of Foreign Affairs, mga kamsik, ngaringel Minister Parad, tial Austronesian, ngaraigel rogul function rogam, mlesoalal al ngaringi, a former Speaker Anastasio, mga invited lang tiga ulla bay galdui. So ngani sel protocol. Why is it invited till mora certain events? Sel mle activity ra adama kama eri mle mitra adra chat time. That was their own time, their own meeting. Dimla ka Senator Whipps ngari, dimlak ngari, because it has nothing to do with the government. It's a private thing. And kung mralo sir adal sum tangara triple detail harartir, I think they can do whatever they want. Now, for background, sorry Bernard, I'm speaking in Palawan. You have to ask for a translator later. But just for background, there was an organization called Tetra, Taiwan, and they were an organization that came and had a trade mission on Merbelao 2 years ago. They said on Merbelao they wanted to start of course, encourage trade around Belao at Taiwan. It was open to the public, so everybody went. Actually, I went as a private sector, at invite a private sector. Chatime was not there. In fact, Chatime was not there. The ngel chairman of cell organization am lari. So when I said akong duri at that time yung lari a plan ako amrura vessel store, and we wanted to have something like some kind of refreshment place at Aljasto. So ako yung kal chairman was it. Do you know the people at chat time? That was my conversation. In fact, I say, oh yeah, and I set them up in Indonesia. He was the one that put them in contact with the ACE franchise in Indonesia. So they have 400 regular chat time in Indonesia because of that contact. It's a good mix. So at that time, in fact, the contract was signed last year. Mera last year. But as you know, they also want media, that they're doing something. So TATRA, so Taiwan Economic Development Authority, basically wanted to show that they've helped in promoting business relationships in Belau. So that was an opportunity for them to show to their media there. In fact, that's not the only business relationship with Taiwan that we've developed. Tatung was developed about 3 years ago to bring Tatung products. And then before that, Taiwan produce. And I think one of the things that at least Surangel and Sons has tried to do, I say, Taiwan has been a strong partner. What are our industries and things that you can do to help develop trade between Taiwan and Palau? So I got open to anybody. It's not closed. And yes, I know there's lots of experts on the internet have comments, and I hope I can clarify an issue, but I did not attend the meeting. Di mo part trip government, so nobody from the government went to the meeting. And then, of course, people were there for other reasons. They were there for medical reasons, and they used their flight as to get medical treatment, but paying on their own, and that was available. So anybody that wanted to pay, and believe me, hindi mo lakal yasuile, sir ticket rebela mo nga 500 for one way, a return ticket tamle 1,200. So you had to pay 1,700 for round trip ticket. So it was not cheap, but if you need to have it done, you do it, and people that could pay, then went. So anyway, so I hope sir clarify. And then let's have kafart smoothie of COVID safe. Sula.
So lang President. Thank you, Bernadette, for the question of COVID safe. Actually, the Ministry of Health doesn't really like it when we say COVID free, because we cannot be 100% sure that Palau is COVID free unless we test 100% of the people. So, but basically, the concept of COVID free is implying that there's no cases in the community. the concept of COVID safe is having the ability and the capacity to mitigate the risk of community transmission. So one case, and if a place or a jurisdiction like Taiwan has demonstrated that they have the ability and capacity to limit that risk of the one case multiplying, then that's basically what COVID safe is. In terms of us, 1 year ago, we were not COVID safe. We didn't have testing capacity. Our alternative care site was being developed or being improved. We didn't have vaccines. We didn't have therapeutics, meaning medicine for COVID cases. But now we do. So I cannot say that we are COVID safe until we really test the system, but I think a lot of things have improved since last year. So I think the Ministry of Health is confident that even with one case that's symptomatic, we'll be able to manage that patient with everything that we've improved in the last year. So a year ago, if there was one case, we would have recommended that the Vice President, as chair of the NEC, recommend to the President and declaring a national emergency. But given the improvements we've seen over the past year, then we can reassess that, and perhaps it's not necessary if one person who's not symptomatic is confirmed and identified in quarantine or in the pandemic certified hotel if they're a tourist from Taiwan. So it's an ongoing discussion, but I think we're safe to assume that we are pretty much COVID safe at this point.
Mirtuta rubak makangartial lo banterir atara media, tirekal atara media, maldit tablo questions ngak. Mal congratulate kau ma delegation ng maneungil successful outcome tial trip. Tirekal mal amatra, tirekal gukmil kat mokor ngarse, lakom other belaw makpay encourage sar other belaw tirekal momru laway kay kidel to rasyo bay. Michael Gary ka maldit tablong sele 1.5 million le Udodra Cross Act likilingar ngar other all bill low real mortigel unemployed mar re-employed ako pala mombre kaseng March 31st o ay meelat tial gari kawase selguk palen sa tial Cross Act, the Cross Extension Act. Kalel sa el 12 the selguk 6 million ilkimul lingit ringil mora National Development Bank. Mabolte alal guk sabi ay kal siopay guk mo loan ay kal Cross Act regulations amle alartir loan le ay ka po long ka tururiul hindi akal ngarang Taiwan babala malungil indik malomes luaseng gire to lomdasra tirekal 90% try kal siopay belaw e mot mok korigit gire la opening selbol la reach herd immunity mora bulul other rogir ling botokol siopay maldir ka suffer maldir ka koramring irtir adirekal malte alla kukmora startups lom ko National Development Bank kasab ira di ako nilwasan kami introduce niya executive branch al ubet olbil atitil introduce niya titil go ngering hindi akim malol ngit roset seng sab el makatmok ala kal 6 million ang sel niya ngaraw dos view emna sa National Development Bank kambol sab el businesses including startups lektira kal mal amatra kal ngaratari pe molding la gerwa aquaculture ma ay gel tokoira siopay ra Taiwan yak malo maral wasyar other bela at wastri at alir hindi kal sabil mo momru like kay kiti hindi kal tiro ko di other tourist yaku kong error question awase Sele Ministry of Human Resources, Tourism and Economic Development. Sing laoy ngarang mo pass into law lagi dire kalmal somam tiagi dal economic development partner ngi.
Okay. So kami so they sell 6 million. First of all, I sell Cross Act, I sell to them 20 million. It was to cover all those areas and was only supposed to be used up until January 31st. After January 31st, we still had money left. So we modify the program basically let's make sure let's make sure they're protected. Still 1.5 million, Minister, maybe you can help me on this, was basically Chairman of PVA our program, cover assistance. And that was for 2 months. So if you calculate that's about 750,000, almost 800,000 a month a costary. Still those other 9 million Minister cover for the full year. So when we talk about cell budget, the passing 9 million, and it actually goes back to October or no, January 31st to May. So the minus are 1.5. So I think we have to make sure the other los special assistants need to survive, and I think Minister can help us. Let's look at how we can help our business. But it's not 6 million. I think that's what's the message I'm sharing. And maybe Minister Kamkora di Oli.
Thank you, Mr. President. We are looking at how much we can provide to the Development Bank, but not only from Cross-Act monies. The emphasis with the Cross-Act is on the reopening for the recovery, but we are looking at additional money for the Development Bank. We do have some money for renewable energy, which is a grant, and we are looking at providing them with additional loan money, significant amount in the millions of dollars that they can use to support business startups or their other programs.
Point, Ali? Malungila point tergalang, we need to help small businesses and really strengthening our development bank aklau tutrel electriga although the electriga adal legal show artir sel malungila question arga sel Ministry of Human Resources adul saadari and restructuring our ministries is not easy. Requires other Allah lo masayil vehicle section a puller tiang or the kiartia. So we did small ones amir tiagid hopefully they will have it ready by the end of this week. Introducing in April session. Hopefully I'll be last and once that's passed, settle up legal ministry positions. That's our goal. So as you know, move tourism or ministry. A little bit of restructuring. So, maybe in sell look more next step. So, sulang.
Dito dimre the Chief of Staff ng the puta kalti ungil. First one last week ra Tuesday Monday MPI mirura at a public hearing la tablol skogi sel Tiger Air ma Palau Express el sorin mesu bakal merpelaw kautel kuk mention ay kay del tablora skogi dongu wa news ra Taiwan yang malukul wasya kay kita chairman na PBN din sa vector falwasem dimlak lebor baba iti sirar tourist le sorin me obligation merpelaw in fact bay Malngario ra Pedro Morales. What's your comment on that? Ongerul gira idali sa front page tiapelawa le mention ra akuk the swira legal team ra Senate el girel sel executive order 444 appoint ra Chilmo Maredra Ministry of Justice. I know ese executive order oblem saying ring yung ultrokokal mle approve ring legal team rakaw ma question na wasem el altablol kakapos aluldas weng what's your plan on that tal ube kadim ere meng adi moyor kuraka rilo mi irni. Thank you.
Okay, ngaria chairman of PVA. Es el first degree mas el chairman of PVA ma ministerial encher responder more again. Sabel.
Segundo President Olgril, but talk of factors will affect the travel bubble. Already mentioned a few. Daga del cost raskogil blo mentioning a president. Manegel del cost revela algi mamalas man mo olong ong. Ngania al-adal giblem creating il TVC, Travel Visitor Center at Taiwan. Se ulagi li amlo tial babula dekadil el passengers el tourist ngari patients, escorts, ngari FIT, mar essential workers. Segi del kombalil marut tal testra airport. Require a passengers rogul informer tier 3 days prior. Munsibil gutmok lagi el test kits. Mung lagi ram rulya al adang ngara Taiwan al basic cling mo monitor coordinate tagal efforts sa MOH or Belau. Sige del testing facility ma airline. The President Eli with after meeting with tagal operators am say that mo PVA mo absorb or sige del cost. Mung agim nakat is el cost. At taraklol issue at Taiwan sel return na sige del for a 5-day self monitoring. Ang ada requirement tertil giril mo test ta PCR after. At Taiwan am na impose of made a $5,000 fine ala kabum musel test. Ay kita dari kal baby ro koram Robert Til. Mung beto ay kita factors lo involved or take the cost magyuro lo ngala Taiwan. Em gyo ko mamulong ong sulang.
Before COVID me lala after COVID en ngari angot ari. Mai say leng ay gagi the cost amla increase mai gal testing marogo el bladder rule. Mang ngari impact ni. Di sel el ukso del dunia se ngari klamri arreng el til wase. Tasam oklaigang e bol se el tokar adal me. Pasate ala minister mun sada gal hearing leng mai say gora mali mise tokol skogi sori el me de gar okya kam kale sodi la se. Al sumut tomara la sente gar okya garam sori el me.
Diam sulange presidente kadamre nga sulel olgaril dire kal mal le attenda el hearing tiagida ang maldi beot tialo marar turista mlo stop eserabol stop may galoli di uras kogi mang mlo stop el algo plado kogi de lo open border gi de lo gi tial babal lo pangela Taiwan enamo gire del tirigel adal mlo stop ako nal mo tel me apply so hindi ulga de marula hearing make sure askogil volospe amit tayo will requirements sa airworthiness sa mga other crew ray gals kogi marogoy mang kredi mo to re-evaluate ay galoli diul ay gamira rangaramo hindi dal sa bedel koradi beotlo ase oy dimlu tel mas kogi kami may malubem mang kadangara o mga maklela mga mokl girela besel toy malubeng mo ang increase sa ar okya kartologi hotel tourist bubble kadakalt mokla ngaring ya transportation at sa edal lol takawring
Ulitra AG muluk sada ya sali mura kari me olgori.
Olgarila, me kulungi tamlutal di mela klisel gari melsan mal mo blak karangak.
Namungil halik agi mungul bra tiabela ngara front page yang wasing tilabata statement tra adara la ara senet tel wasesel appointment tra kal mohedra ministry ra justice amal malarala tiab blasayeng ringa president mang ngulter kokkel kuk legal team ringa dilul wasen di sabel ma question asing in fact aku legal wasing ra plan el girel seal uber di me ere men di moyor kura karila lo mi ering.
Okay.
Kamsul sir sige del part ndiga dim sodia 444.
Kamsulang Olgarila, Executive Order 444, amal dia kal lolut kra Attorney General, mbolore dara Ministry of Justice. Hindi wase sela ka ada AG away alother alela president tial lureor Ministry of Justice mang melmut alsil sendir ka kaura el crew lengar alela minister ngari onti la president mer nga algire la ku bureau ra immigration and labor ngire la blila bulis egi da bokru ngire el wayak ima la president engi ngari sel plener ngi origin ngi del mil sadra ngara mo earlier wase ngatra reorganize ay gal ministry mesel bol merek selurere lengi am umulut krar mo minister mang mal alwi del to amara blul wase Attorney General Ernestine Ringila a Minister of Justice lang mal diak minister ako der alela president rel all time gila ora Ministry of Justice mangari legal opinion ra adra la Senate almaral mlatuov ngwaseng law unlawful hindi aldung malamal rala ngari ate al aseng unlawful edi ka kangod tol merul maure ora di malamol waigel lurura blal dua president ya dira kulgu position ra ako obis ra attorney general la adra la ra senate tamil south tial executive order lo asengol ngoya ka 2 PNC section 110 hindi kamama ko komes ring ilwasing malblak takkel executive order el site ra 2 PNC 109 ma executive order a milkat mok loyak segi hindi lak loyak 110 kamsulang
Kora di makataklisel kita umle osengya makamali hara kora di mo makatakli amle osengya ma uli kado mirur tial structural wise kita amilsa structure mo ira before dimle wan el directore ora tial rogil ministry esemle makatak del time el wise kita dirikan milsa wase our Ministry of Justice sometimes to improve our enforcement to tell Allah ang alungila coordination na igal tira igal kakarosul bureau mamle mokte kita kasi ngari Ministry of Justice ngari AG itiga rogul ada report el oro lo mengela AG so ngadak adaralla mga kamral di tira adaralla e olgoril gira igal akti o tubdia o senged kasi gagi dar asia dan merul e urtur adralla al meskida legal opinion adi ko dong le atiagi da kamle adala ongerul kangkang e kama malle to adralla al ngar segi del kangkang meseral selgi mo sadrawan al issue et tiga ka karos adralla adi ka karos opinion ertir mga mang saya important nga karos opinion arat kita umrah sende ka dol malaralla emruri and and that's why ngare kaldelinguk bay ngare ate alere lang sumar other all will on to saying problem and un mara korte saya also alel ilol tutak le the be mabol blaka takle then u kosangya da mesel waseng waise so da aurora rutrungi le ngare wil timor kumang dia gisa dia da satal malel maul ka damruri inung opinion na adra lara executive branch so sulang
Mr. Presidente tangrial ade Mr. Presidente gora sebgan ri sel el position gal gerela budgetera EQPV le kagel gatra 10% tra budgetera EQPV Ederegel tetkia Mr. Chief titimele, ma Mr. Clancy del tira major el developer ablur Palau. El member ti al board EQPB, el betogalado umrak nur adel geril ngania geril impartial. Le tomes au regulation el out el geril developers. Togola suev ganrik plasei. Segi di adru lela president molbira lulau, el geril osingir el geril aurora EQPB. Malube ngani ala somiun mo walang ong malube ko mo change ra a EQPB. Narakural de swemel giretsi.
so interesting moktegra EQPB agirel ngaril ngara o sab aklel ma protection ara lugilak klangar lagi. Oise kediri kan malo umral wase tial klangar lagi tara terbela agad protectoring e balance ring. So ayal borda should be made up para kakarus el other kakarus o singil merit tera ko truin gilir ar other ablu. Provider ang will service and more other ablu. So kotula chef team la dimla kalbora EQPB nora PPUC, but anyway hindi wala mo dakyar ngil. But gamra ngasuler other olbil mla approve ma PPUC PPUC tara yal borda ko temrin ar other mo daleng gatal time ng song sa other hindi Kado gamra ngasuler other gongel mo other borda PPUC ma kado ni tigme ase wal mo klor ndi miwem helper tiga other PPUC dire ka to ka challenges tir hindi IQPB sell 50,000 is 10% of the budget. I am concerned sa local to daw nila IQPB lo ase agimla consultor adan meruda EA ma EIS tirgaya kasi ang gimal meruda ng ilurior therefore that's umgata ureram umnawa agimla establish ang partnership in effect komla askar adrablu kami agirul server tir actimus kami example mal simple skura sabado 2 years lolara a permit 13 murura besel office building tir apartment sensor tir. Why does it have to take that long? Ya babilingin na say well elang ya mangal mo solo arogu lagim lalo sura 50,000. It's about time they get efficient termula urerin mongil. So I think we need to hold them accountable. So a picture will paint in other house. I say we need to hold them accountable. So kita siya dulu supplemental mestrir. I think a message will solo lo mestrir other EQPB. Akmun wase a performance kami over these past years is subpar, not up to par. Okay, there are other moreng setira other merula EA ma EIS tirgaya benefit tial system. Why say? They're the ones benefiting from the system. Like the more delays, the more red tape, they make more money. So are you going to say that they're doing a bad job? No, you're going to say they're doing a good job. So gira dan mo a whole picture. Kadib lakatak so I'll just share with you. Ngari EL da bong atamla ndio sisyo tial EA. Why say? Hindi nga kang aral salam sa dara imora project. Uli silmering lang aral. So before it muna say adara la amal diral di omon dalet. Tadi change a contract ng mga kalmoriya telal $100. Ela EA mong why say telal $1,000. Hey, we have to be honest. So let's think about what we're doing. Kita naman sa EQPB kasi if we know lo aseng ngara agira dan marul requirement, let's streamline it. Let's say Carl, executive director, you have the power. Borsam da saying require sales screening, require ang culture. Let's not waste so much money on paperwork. El mondar ade el bulir adrablu. I mean, you ask, so I have to be honest. So a messenger or bill merakululan mer executive branch kasi the sama klitiang the sala sem grad help to improve. So before a budget cut, I actually met with the QPB, the board. Because we want to help them. Now, what can the president do? We can give them reprogramming. Why say? We can do a supplemental budget. It's not the end of the world. Di sa longo do at tamsada sa tiam UNW lad tia close. E ba sa elagi mo mas kami hard time mahal mo de mga permit. I'm sorry. Gira no mesero say gagita ngar let. If we have to live with less, let's make sure our job is done. Ebem complain em langan mortial imol bulur bela lo say that's the reason. Mama mo da sa amulara mo so teludo. I'm sorry. Let's be responsible. So sa ato yung pura talk show, please help per team understand ro say kami ang artiang surbar adrablu.
Sula Mr. President ng
Sula.
press release tire.
So maybe not time at the labis say who are they there serving?
Bekaya maran mura, Mr. Chief, titimil girel sel, misinformation Hindi nga rin Mr. Presidenta, o girik na sigumla tele, National Health Emergency, lamo, kung na-deactivate ni malubim lamo there under a National Health Emergency.
Diam sulang agi I think gira continue evaluate we work with the Ministry of Health we plan el momitra NEC discuss what's the best way moving forward. Ding malungila point terko so it's under consideration. Sulang.
President el gera mo debang sel bill la tobra Senate Senate Presidenta introduce ngil ngakli si ela EQPB ma FIB Mora State. Ngaraul the swimmer wal du ngimal ubendia.
Sulang. I'm not sure was a state and capable handle I think that's the first gira de lo misri. I think gira de lo misri ase appoint all and toda la to siga improvement. Ma process or bira kalula kadol toda ulda so rula hearing mesa igel ngal sanga said e was grad improve. Agumra was a process gira murtri they got the thing around right away, but I be able to at the end of the day, bolungila service and more other abulu, bolungila urior el marade, say the adonitrim, Sudan.
Economy kaysay. Sel tugora oil ng ayang maaway baksay tarang mau ma phosphate nga ngayaw diri kam lamadung maguk kora economic development rule daso tukoy ngari ya kuldo sem ko mo address ay gidre lal within 100 days al ubang mo at least the rest of the year mo consider mo ngara
Kogela oil ma bauxite. I like with it's all about the young economically feasible. Kami the bora oil. Elal time ay gero ulom sipsa oil pargra Singapore lendi kamagit. Yes, and the sige other Allah al mamrur said regulation, but is it really a priority? Is there a customer that really needs to address that right now? I know lo saying tara requirement ng Allah al girela gather mirror regulation and the al sumari resources maybe we need to allocate them someplace else. But al sumari adal marmang girela gather address ni and ngara government smiga resources lang ngarala al gira gut makli. But I don't see at this time no say it's a priority le e girela el kumurgalo say ang song sa adrala rieng she cannot get people here. So but it's a regulation that's required. I say a backside ngayura umralo aset tila they require a permit QPV hopefully hindi kalsan mo kamal but yes nga sebel el tukoy. I say, it comes down to ngaria buyer. Of course, klaro klokler other ngayaw, tira yil motmag asing tungongero trari India. I mean, at the end of the day, I got klaro klokler state, mar individuals. Ang ngala government, they regulate and make sure they come temlit ya lugar laklang arigid, but agadang arsel, dira ka assist ay galbalo. Siya giran mukte karigid. Sulang. Well, I gave some examples. Gida speaker amlam kataklil was a corporate registry arbitration. Say a foundation developing a regional hub or financial sector. Which o tu es el showai maudo del me fandergid clean. When I say clean and they clean and they money laundering, but also it's a clean industry and they tamlit ya lugar laklang arigi. provide high-paying jobs. Tumospera btokol adralla mar btokol الأدرى المدور أمور ودود financial people. So yeah. So I think some of the things that we saw that we tried to promote on the trip, aquaculture. I mean, we need to look at ways of how to make use of resources again. We need to think beyond the kalsabul. The more high end المرال produce a value. And pernah ada Taiwan miskita teal el morsay bodom ella gamduk le paidol tragamduk le high value. We need to look at different ways el address el tial aquaculture industry. Gide le mnamo telalies el say I'm sorry a low grade ring la all ma kalsabul. We need to be looking at high value fish. So that's why it's hard for Tigal farmers to make money and make it sustainable. Same thing at agriculture. And I'll just give you an example as other EQPB. Maria other Mlarbelau, other New Zealand, other American, Makira New Zealand. A clean story, a malmokita story. Lesoal Murura coffee farm, Rebelau, Lomogela Imora other Belau. Di tiga simple at farmers. Murula igal coffee radrula orium. He was here for 9 months. Tekmuni was saying require a EA in Murura shares. I'm sorry, Ablunam Regula they require a single EA in Murura Nidil shares. Why? Agriculture again about production. Keep the cost low. So they told him 16,000 a cost tial EA in mo malal makohi. I mean, kamsada maktub ashoba help. So those are the things that we need to look at and decide to say what is our priority. Kamsada production. Kamsada include help agriculture, aquaculture. Mera bitam leb so ori say why don't you do something? I mean we have to remove a policy and brand more help promote the industry. And then so anyway, I don't know if you know, but the regulation over 1,000 square meter shares, yeah, the permit QPB. Murura EA. I'm sorry, Murura EA. Why? Doesn't make sense to me. Also, mga best practices, el EQPB, multi-grad shares, edil do. Lakad waste tao do del Murura EA. Cost $16,000. I mean, I don't know.
Sula, Mr. Presidente, ngani resolution 11-4-1, joint resolution na blal, kanyang olbira lulaw, il mskakli mensebem lopena trobusisin a June mo July. Il base sel feasibility study report kilt makleamurin resource ma PICRC, law tuk na si maklasmo. Hindi makalo otiak lungela value rasmo, il saber del harvesting yung ulo true rekril belaw. Usisul time hindi makal relia survey ragel kai masmum the import and mesois. Tol ngitak mau era obam open atyal turgusisen evolsuem rulia study il moso pakil tria other belal tira angara handicraft business.
Okay, so what rule resolution alamrur all being mungida di determine a date. A trogus ngani rablul bela my understanding last the harvest at trogus selungwa 1 hectare el met tomura approximately 1 million el sumum ngar alset. El al time 1 hectare 3 million el sumum ngar alset. So that means in yedela isoy say disela sumum last time el dongar harvester sumum. Meaning maral klasumum. So the selmua value say last time el do last sumum the 75 tons of the collecting. El al time the expected was over 200 tons. Almost 250 tons al as other harvester. 250 tons el sumum value ringi you know, it's more than $500,000. The hindi mo your price. What's interesting, arala sa mumra blulada has continued to go down. Dekal oral morbap. Leng adimendri yan na mo dekal wangaramo. Mang abay cloud challenge lang ang marine resource o sigarar buyer. So, kung sing ari adang artial adiri kala interested mo buyer mo si krolele emre the publisher wasing ang irmangal kung wasing potential buyer medo sigarar adal al ngari ate elir el bolam ara samum el ngari opportunity hindi. We're talking at least $500,000 value ngara kargere lang.
Mr. President, sel 10-54 direct ban agel all marine resources will export. Lagi dulu mesti sel 10-54 esena mula ang lola last year.
Masamo mong include na rin?
Included in ang marine resource.
Oh, mabsulang. Tila amral important point. Esel lo the some legal study. Malkong yelo mungkin masang we need to study it. Tila ngari mle suggest ra before was by di dangar bela the process ang kalsamum. A Bible regular harvesting controller size ngari mle ada mi dunang ra before mle tal ngari idea na ko maras mo about 20 years ago. Makmina dunang gala dang ulay siya kasi bay ngil musel button factory may gan misil merbera di mga artiang malara end product moltrani di bom ready telam rule sumun more regular motor class size the tekmura lase a valuable sumu ma 2.5 al mara 3 inch sel blabol over 3 inch hindi maral mo klo leo goring enge agirul gi prin enge abayom el if you look at the report ang bay wase bay gira del moya size limit el mala $10 ngel mal klo le triga bay giri lom el gida saigol gida mol ngel klora 3 inch godio mo quadring el mutel el saigol. So I agree with you. We need more studies in marine resource and man will subital industry ma aterteraigal kae. You know, I guess el what do you call them? Sustainable, renewable business. So sulang al sabela mi irmang open a button factory ang dos. Morula alube ako kasi Mr. Sade kung may wile asila dara news entrepreneur de da rogo yung finance. Yes.
Reminder mo tirigel ila first dose ra last month. Kadam le resume ra umrus ra eli la second dose mo. Adaloreng setiang at sum komilo first dose ra Moderna ra last month mo Mr. Selgar ra komi bemura. Kadam rus ra second dose mo mutra April 21. O si siltamel al silseng World Health Day April 7 mga niya walkathon al sponsoring ya NCD unit ra kapsangay. Tirigel sabihin mo nga photo registration magukal sa ilang nga walkathon ra tarakal mo hospital.
Jam sila ka fare maybe tirikal di share lang jam dekam share ay galo ka ay sirgira la vaccine amral me mga ada kum lang mong adra media. Oh, please share.
So lang ya President. Ako na sang lamil dong ra last week ra talk show hindi patangat-tangat tele CDC am lakongin maski the rest ra allocation ilal April enough will cover adults. So they expect at least 6,200 those ra Moderna, ma 4,000 those ra Johnson and Johnson and Larel and Mand. Magim lataw da announcement was starting ra April 19. Yung open ra umrus and more general public. Di galing ito was nga nigel for deng once ira adalo mo kadong mystery information na kamamamokol or kumilo ay sa sengoy nga schedule. At least 6,200 to sa Moderna. Ma 4,000 al J3. Gigi dia level na mo ultra system sa edel malar el almant. Isa enough al ngoy gidel mora 80% or adults hopefully by the end of May. Maraming isel na initial target ministerial head last year say by May kada umesar sa gidel so-called herd immunity mal on track. So Agiti mo announce sa selgim receive ay gigi el vaccine sa kumda sa umasindiring mera akluguk ngar sa APA flight. Hindi schedule am lama makatmok magidi yung itar adala sa di mo ring sa subde direct kal nga social media igel kuk isa la vaccine so lamring asula la CDC sa igidil operation na maskit sa igidil arangalila orus. Starting April 19 hindi giri ulkol kada marula schedule call ba kada adala sa ngoy ngarang ito may.
And just to ngamal choko urmo 8,500 tala am lang usal first vaccine which represents 67% of the adult population. By April 19 kadam la vaccinated tira second dose which means 67% of the people have already had the second dose by April 19. So we're well on our way. So mo maklon nila adrablu mo na say we're safe, we're protected. Unfortunately, the 10 dortina tourist don't worry. But the most important part of the whole process is that we need to take the first step. We need to understand the problems. Masel the richer herd immunity and 16 flights a week at all. Yeah, that was the ultimate goal. We need to start. Marang asulara amaring lugar baralya other Ministry of Health, ma PVA, ma economic team rigid. I mean, dim nakal albayat lugar. It was a long process. Marang asulara da lugar makloreng artir, maklaw marartir. Rekmadengil was a marada mal dirga suwa bakarandir. Makadoni trakloreng ma understanding. He was a gira we're proceeding with care. Mal dekada matargak, mal dekada diludo, kada mesa statistics, kada mesa science. You are expert. They make a real decision and make sure we keep everybody safe. Dik close ngaria tiya sila ko tang mga press conference na mo 2 hours and 15 minutes. Bereng net 2 weeks sila dia kamu kada make up ngaria tablol burder al sales wata ngara Bureau of Aviation Mr. Flavin Tualbang madiri kan ngara nursing Shirley Timarong. Congratulated tir tokobet tir material rogul uk noria tanjovir tir al week. Mali meringa sulia other bela rogui lukno ngaria te lil lordeng sertial press conference rigid. Pode ser mal lo kamangal man si pose uk replay la ire like kadangara YouTube ndi para limerenga sulia kaloreng kamiu. Mali meringa sulia ngarang ayangan mor hot charigi mga rekla blue bela ukno si iltunin.